Hello learners, in today's class we will study about hypothesis testing. So before going to the hypothesis testing, we will first study about what is hypothesis and what are the perspectives of different scientists in hypothesis testing. To tell whether our data supports or rejects our ideas, we use statistical hypothesis testing. The problem is that we often get data that seem to support our ideas. The literature is full of papers that accept a pet idea uncritically. Statistical testing keeps scientists honest. If you read a paper that suggests some alternative hypothesis should be accepted, but there is no statistical test, don't believe it. If a topic is part of science, ideas have consequences that can be checked. We can count and measure aspects of nature to check our ideas. If our measurements are contrary to prediction of our model, our hypothesis is false and we reject it. So, a very great scientist, Richard Feynman, has said that it does not make any difference how beautiful you guess is. It does not make any difference how smart you are. You made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it is wrong, and this is all there is to it. If you haven't measured it, you don't know what you are talking about. This is the words said by William Thomson. Before going to the hypothesis, we will first study some basic concept about mean. So, as we have discussed earlier, the mean is one of the commonly used statistics in science. It is often the expected value, that is the value we expect to get. The mean is found by totaling the values for all observations summation x and dividing by the total number of observations n. The formula for finding the mean is summation of x by n. Standard deviation, this topic also we have done earlier. Standard deviation, as the this is the graph in which there is an standard three standard deviations are given. This was sky one, then violet one, then red one, and the formula for a standard deviation as we have studied earlier is 1 by n summation of I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole square and then root over. If you're not putting root there, it means it is variance, it's not standard deviation. So standard deviation is just a square root of variance. So for standard deviation, the calculate the difference of each observation and the mean square it, add all these up, divide by sample size and take the square root. Okay, now next is sampled standard deviation. Sample standard deviation, it is rarely possible to obtain observations from every item in a population. The estimate of sigma is s, and this can be calculated as 1 by n minus 1, means it's not n only, it's n minus 1 summation of I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole square, where n minus 1 is called the degree of freedom and is 1 less than the number of observation. Knowing the distribution in coin toss experiment, we know a formula for calculating the probability of any number k heads in a n trial, the binomial distribution. Fortunately, we don't have to know the distribution for every situation in nature. We are saved by the central limit theorem. Now, what is central limit theorem? So, as said by Fowler, the mean of a large number of samples drawn randomly from the same population are normally distributed. So, it pays us to use means, not raw data. Sample this formula unknown. So this is the graph for for central limit theorem, and according to this graph, the formula unknown and means distributed likewise, and therefore its formula known, because here there is not a uniformity in this graph, but in this graph there is a uniformity. Now normal distribution, so if we make many observations and use averages as our data, we can draw valid conclusion because we know their distribution. Many test statistics are available for this. In a few moment we will learn chi-square test. So this is the normal distribution. In the normal distribution, we study about the acceptance reason and rejected reason. Expected value. The expected value is the average result we expect. It is the product of probability times the number of observation E is equal to P into N. A really useful case is the where the probability of all cases is equal. For example, in fair coin tosses, the probability of heads is equal to 1 by 2. If we flip a coin 24 times, we expect 1 by 2 into 24, that is 12 heads. Equal probability cases are usually the basis of null hypothesis. Hypothesis. A hypothesis is a statement of the researcher's ideas or guess. So this is very important statement. That what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is a statement of researcher's idea or guess. To test a hypothesis, the first thing we do is to write down a statement called the null hypothesis. Okay, the null hypothesis is often the opposite of the researcher's guess. Okay, means whatever the things we are guessing, it's opposite. I mean, the opposite thing is null hypothesis. Like we think that the sample we have taken is literate means the people are uh, almost literate, but null hypothesis is opposite of the researcher's guess. If we are thinking of literate, the null hypothesis means it they will be illiterate. For example, some null hypothesis may be there is no difference in lava viscosity between Hawaii and Cascades volcano. There is no relation between a volcanic island height and its age. Okay, so there is no connection between the time since subaerial exposure of sediment and the height of the hills in the form. So null hypothesis H naught, we are just representing null hypothesis with the help of H naught. Okay, and there is no difference between the average number of streams per square kilometer and the bedrock type. Alternative hypothesis is HA or H1. There is a difference between the average number of streams per square kilometer and the bedrock type. So this is the example of alternate. You have to just keep in your mind that no, alternate hypothesis is represented by HA or H1. Okay, and there is a difference between the average number of streams per square kilometer and the bedrock type. This is the example. Okay, significance 1. Before carrying out any test, we have to decide on a significance level which lets us determine what point to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. Generally researchers want to get an alternate hypothesis because no one want to get an opposite result of their own guess. If whatever the things we are guessing, and if we same thing we are getting also, then our research is means the our basic concept behind research will be fulfilled. But if you are not getting this, then it's if you are getting null hypothesis, then whatever the idea behind this is not get fulfilled. So significance is based on the probability of a particular result. Statisticians have calculated the probability of all possible chance events occurring. Significance 3. Many trials and the use of a higher significance level p is equal to 0.01 and not p is equal to 0.05 make this less likely. If the probability of a particular result is less than 1 in 20, that is p is equal to 0.05, we say the result is significant, that is the result is not just a chance event. If the probability of a particular result is less than 1 in 100, p is equal to 0.01 of we say the result is highly significant. Again, the result is not just a chance. Okay, so now avoiding decision error, we always run the risk that we will observe a rare event and we will draw the wrong conclusion. Usually we want to avoid a type 1 error where we reject H node even though it is true. Many trials and the use of a higher significance level, that is p is equal to 0.01 and not p is equal to 0.05, make this less likely. In a type 2 error, we accept the null hypothesis even though it is false. Okay, so when we are going inside of deep of the hypothesis, then there are type 1 error and type 2 error. So usually we want to avoid a type 1 error where we reject h naught even though it is true. Many trials and the use of higher significance level make this less likely. In a type 2 error, we accept the null hypothesis even though it is false. We will see an example of type 2 error later. Test statistics. We often want to see if two things are different from each other. In science, we calculate what we would expect if there was no difference between them, the usual null hypothesis. We can then compare this to what we actually observe. Test statistics. To check the null hypothesis, we calculate a figure known as test statistics, which is based on data from our sample. Different types of problem require different test statistics. Values for a comparison to our data have all been put into statistical tables. All we need to do is to calculate our value and compare it with the value in the table to get our answer. Using a test statistics, if the test statistics shows you observed and an unlikely result, you reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. X square significance table. The significance level available on an x square table are usually 0.05, 0.01 and 0.001, which means there is respectively only 1 in 20, that is 0.05, a 1 in 100, that is 0.01, or a 1 in 1000, that is 0.001. Probability of the event occurring by chance if that x square is obtained. The values in the table are called critical values. Now this is very important, chi-square or critical value in use. What is chi-square? Means for chi-square test, if the value of the test statics you have calculated is greater than the value in the table, the critical value, you decide to use you can reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. Okay, chi-square x-square chi-square critical values are already given this in table. You can use it for your reference. Now important thing is that it is prudent to use means, not raw data, to ensure a normal distribution. The chi-square test can only be used on observation that have the following characteristic, that is objects being counted are independent. The data must be in the form of frequencies. The frequency data must have a precise numerical value and must be organized into categories or groups. The expected frequency in any one cell of the table must be greater than 5. The total number of observation must be greater than 20. So what is an exception? The discrepancy is not large. However, when chi-square test is computed from contingency tables with a fairly large number of cells, more than 4 at a minimum, and only a few theoretical frequencies are less than 5. Other other statistics are also there. Okay, in this if any of the assumption of chi-square are false, we cannot use chi-square. So however, there are test statistics for most situations and they are all similar in their use. Once you know chi-square, you can look up the correct statistics and apply it. The x square formula, x square the value of chi-square, o is the observed value and e is the expected value. So this is very important formula, that is chi-square formula. This one is very important. Then this summation means the take the sum. So o is observed value, e is expected value, and just to divide it, do it whole square and and divide it by e, and summation of these all you can calculate all. Okay, this is the worked example. Write the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis and set the level of significance. So h naught, here one example is given. Okay, step 2. In this example only we have done. Okay, we are going deep inside this example. So h naught, a ballistic sand pile will not spread further than a quartz sand pile in the same time. and this is our null hypothesis. And alternate hypothesis is a ballistic sand pile will spread further than a quartz sand pile in the same time. Means in null hypothesis, the researcher is uh, thinking that it will not spread, but in alternate is his observation that it will spread. We will set the level of significance at 0.5. Okay, 5% level of significance is there. So how we will do, step 2 is construct a table with the information you have observed. Use as data, use averages as data. Method: 220 Hawaiian sand and 250 New Jersey sand piles of 50 cc each are left out in the weather for 1 week. After 1 week, the distance of the furthest grain beyond the initial perimeter is measured. Every piles are averaged. So further grain 1 to 5, then 6 to 10, then 11 to 15, 16 to 20, then 21 to 25. Row total is also given. The quartz, basaltic column total is also given. Now we will use the formula, that is expected frequency equal to row total into column total by grand total. So expected frequency for oaks is in PL1 is 50 into 30 by 92, so 7.07. So here what we have done, we have just written this one here, quartz 7.07. Now expected frequency is given here, expected frequency table is given here. Okay, here with the help of that same formula we have just calculated all these things. Now for each of the cells, calculate O minus E whole square by E, and you will just get again this kind of table. Okay, so this is the overall view. Means you have to use this formula, and for chi-square test, because this is the important formula, that summation observed value minus expected value whole square by expected value. So add up all the above numbers to obtain the value of for chi-square, that is x square is equal to 15.14. So now look up the x square value on the table in the slide above. This will tell you whether to accept the null hypothesis or reject it. So the number of degrees of freedom to use is the number to use is the number of rows in the table minus 1 multiplied by the number of columns minus 1. This is 2 minus 1 into 5 minus 1, which is 1 into 4 is equal to 4 degrees of freedom. We find that our answer of 15.14 is greater than the critical value of 9.49, that is for 4 degree of freedom, and a significance level at 0.05, and so we reject the null hypothesis. We conclude the distribution of grains uh, spreading from sand piles made of basaltic minerals basaltic minerals versus quartz is significantly different. Now you have to look for physical factor to explain our findings. If you ask me, you should check the density balance. Basaltic Hawaiian basaltic sands are mostly pyroxenes. So the density is this, and the density of quartz is this, and pyroxene has a greater potential energy, which when healed to the same height as quartz sand. So this is all about the hypothesis, but this is not the full point of view of hypothesis. In hypothesis there are lots of calculation, and lots of things are more are there. This is the simple overview of hypothesis. So kindly go through the notes given, and if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask in discussion forum. Thank you.